Hey, I'm Aja A, and welcome to Sunshine Haze. Don't forget to check out all the links that I have listed down in the description box, and if you like the video, please give me a little thumbs up. If you have any questions after the video is over, feel free to drop them down below. I try to respond to everyone. And if you all know people interested in astrology, numerology, tarot, or whatever I'm talking about on this channel, go on and send them this link. And don't forget to hit subscribe. And of course, thanks for tuning in and rocking with me. May this info help y'all live your best lives. Peace. Hey y'all, welcome back to SunshinehazeCo. I am Aja A. This is going to be your monthly tarot forecast for the month of April for all of the signs. Before I get into your spreads, this is a general reading. So if you feel like what I'm saying is not resonating with you, don't waste your time or mine. Just click out of this video, check out the playlist link down below, and go find your moon and or rising sign, or go find you another free reader to watch on YouTube. It is very simple, okay? Typical 4-card spread, going over the overall energy for you guys for the month of April. Also any challenges or obstacles that you might be facing. And because we are in Aries energy, cardinal Aries energy, we're going to be looking at what you need to initiate during this month, what you need to light the fire under. And as always, a quick little soul message for you, okay? Before I get into your spread, I do want to shamelessly plug myself. I do now have a TikTok channel in which I put up hella short readings. So if you like shorter readings, find me on there. And it's actually not Sunshine Haze Co. It is my name, my brand. It's Aja.A. That's AUJHA.AYE, okay? I also have hella videos going up. It is a new month, so I do have the April pick a card spread up. I also am going to stop lying to you guys because I don't have anything going on right now. I don't have my neighbors bothering me. I don't have my job bothering me as much as they usually do right now. So I will be putting up your love readings for all of the signs over the next week or so, okay? What else do I want you guys to watch? We just came off of the Libra full moon, so check out that video. We'll have the Aries new moon popping up in the middle of the month, and we will also be going back into a retrograde cluster, starting off the cluster of retrogrades for the year 2021 at the end of the month, I believe, starting with Pluto. So that video will be linked as soon as it does go up, okay? And those are all the plugs I got for you. Let's get into your spreads. This video is for Virgo, Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon, and Virgo Rising. Let's get into your messages here. First card that you have coming up in your spread is in the position of your overall energy for the month of April. And you've got a really popping card coming up here. You've got happy, happy. And I also want to speak to the numerology a little bit on this card. You've got 26. And those separate components speak to peace and harmony and balance, and then also due diligence in work and building upon solid foundations. 2 and 6 break down to 8, which is all about cycles, infinity, karma, and I also consider 8 the number of exponential growth. So what I get here for you guys during the month of April, Virgo, is that you're in a space to where things are getting lighter, things are getting more positive, things are becoming to look a lot more abundant. I pick up on this energy of you might have been pulled through the ringer recently. You might have had to go through a few trials and tribulations over the past month or over the course of the last year. But I do get that during the month of April, and especially just pointing to the energies with it being springtime, with us coming into cardinal fire, that things are looking a little bit lighter for you. Things are looking a lot more positive. Things are looking a lot more if it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck. And you can celebrate. I get the sense that this is a time for you to actually acknowledge the positive changes going on in your life. Virgo, you guys are Earth. You guys are very analytical, and you're very about your business. You're very all about your work, all about detail. And what I have noticed with people with a lot of Virgo energy is oftentimes when they come into these spaces where they're supposed to be acknowledging the fact that they've done something good, or they've completed a cycle, or they've, reaped the rewards of what they have sown. Virgo is very nonchalant about it, and they'll be like, oh, that's cool, and then keep it pushing and go do some more work somewhere else. Virgo, take the month of April to actually acknowledge your accomplishments. Take the month of April to actually acknowledge, okay, times were rough, shit was rough, tough, and dirty, but now it's getting a little better because I did A, B, and C, and I did X, Y, and Z, and let me give myself a little bit of credit for that. Virgo, it is okay to pat yourself on the back. Pat yourself on the back. Take April to pat yourself on the back, okay? Do it. All right, especially because in the month of April, you're going to come up on your no, just kidding. You just had a full moon. Well, not just because we just had Libra, but in the month of February, you had your full moon. And so that's also probably another indicator of things might have been a little rough for you. Anytime a sign is having their full moon, it's a time of release for them. And so you may have had to get rid of some dense energies. You may have had to work through some things, you know, starting in February, kind of carrying into March. And now is the time to where you can actually acknowledge that you did the work and that the work was actually beneficial, that it came out the way that it was supposed to. Even if it doesn't seem like that on the surface, understand that what you've been doing, the energy you've been putting in, was not for nothing. It was all for a good cause, and the good cause is to bring you into this positive space. Happy is the energy you are supposed to be tapping into during this month. As we bring in the spring, as we come into all the little cherry blossoms and all of the warm weather, this is the time for you to actually say, hey, I can also enjoy this. I don't always just have to work. I can enjoy this. I can take a moment to look at my life, and instead of over analyzing and being overcritical, which you guys are known for doing when you're operating within your shadow aspects, instead of lending that energy, lend some energy to, okay, because I be overanalyzing and I'm overly critical of the work that I do for myself, and because I did all of that up until this point, let me take a little pause, let me take a little breather and look at what I've accomplished, and understand that what you've accomplished is big. No matter how small it seems, any accomplishment, especially after a year like 2020, okay? Let me just be the first to say that anything that you could get done during last year or after last year coming into this, anything that you did is a feat, all right? And you give yourself credit for that. Pat yourself on the back, Virgo. It is a month in which you need to allow positive energy to embrace you, and you also need to embrace the positive energy, okay? The next card that I have coming up in your spread, Virgo, is in the position of your crossing energies. And you do have one of my, this is not like the worst shit card, but this is definitely like a, that's some shit card, okay? You have the Eight of Swords here, and the sword suit is mental. It's all about perspective. It's all about what's going on in your head, okay? Eight of Swords is a card of restrictions. And what I will say is that when the Eight of Swords comes up, these particular restrictions come by way of your thoughts. And it could also come by way of other people's thoughts, but I'm more so getting that they're your thoughts, Virgo. And we're going to go back into you in your shadow aspects. As I mentioned earlier, when Virgo is not operating within its light, you guys start to get a little overly critical. You start to get a little over analytical, and you start to get a little paranoid and get a little angry about the way that things are going because you think that they're not going the right way. This is your crossing energy. When this card is crossing you, this does tell me, and especially crossing that happy energy, Virgo, and I hate when these energies come up in the spread because it points to the only obstacle, the only challenge actually coming from you. This Eight of Swords crossing this happy is telling me the only reason you would not be able to tap into this is by way of your thoughts. Virgo, if you're sitting up here thinking, I did not accomplish enough, I did not do enough, the work that I do is not adequate, well, guess what? One, you're going to lend that to the physical, and then it's eventually going to manifest in the physical that the work that you did was not adequate enough, that you didn't do enough, that you still got shit to do. But it's also going to put you in a in a negative headspace, in a spot to where you're like, because you're so focused on the didn'ts and could'ves and should'ves, you're not focused on the positive energy that is actually there for you to reach up and grasp, okay? Eight of Swords is definitely not a card that I want to see pop up when we got such a pop in energy here for you guys coming up during this month of April. I typically talk about turning these cards into an upright position, but in all honesty, for this month, this is actually a card that you can kind of just do away with. I think it is very important for you guys during the month of April, when you get those negative, oh, why didn't I do this like this? When you get those, oh, I didn't do enough work. When you get those, this isn't the way that it's supposed to be. Because we're talking about a swords card here, a mental card, an air card here, you're going to have to train your mental to shift your perspective. Every time that you have a negative thought, combat it with two positives. And it can be as silly as it may sound. If you think, oh, I didn't do enough work, you need to combat that with two positive thoughts. Instead of, I didn't do enough work, well, I did a little bit of work. I was able to go and get a milkshake after I did the work. That milkshake really has nothing to do with anything going on, but it's positive. If you like milkshakes, if you don't like milkshakes, replace that with something else. Combat it with two positives. And over the course of April, what you'll see start to happen is when you get a negative thought in your head, you'll eventually be able to take that and remove it and move into a more positive space. And it is easier said than done. Trust me, I know this because I had to train myself to think this way, and I started doing this a few years ago. But when you first start out, listen, it seems very nonsensical, and it does seem like it doesn't work. But it's all about training your mental, all about training your perspective. It's just like memorization. When you have tests in school, it's not knowledge that you're really retaining. You're just retaining the stuff that you read and the answers that you know to these questions, right? And so in order for you to ace the test, you have to remember what you trained your brain to remember. So in order for you to ace this test, and the test is to come into positive, happy energy, in order for you to ace it, you have to train your brain to think happy. You can't think mad, sad, lacking. You got to think happy in order for you to get yourself into that space. So do away with this restrictive Eight of Swords energy for the month of April. Listen, it's going to be other months in the year where we do need you to buckle down and to do some work and to do a little extra here and there. But April is not, it's not that month for you. April is the month in which you are supposed to be celebrating yourself and celebrating your work, and also just being positive and being happy and allowing that energy to consume you. Therefore, you can put that energy out and continue to call it back to you, okay? Eight of Swords, we don't need for the month of April. Next card that I have coming up in your spread, Virgo, is in the position of where you need to tap into some Aries energy and initiate things. And you have a fire card. You got the Four of Wands here. And first and foremost, the first message that I want to give you is that the Four of Wands is a card of celebration. And so I kept saying in your spread, like, you need to celebrate yourself. You need to celebrate this. And I think what that's coming to is that Virgo, for some reason, and I don't know what the reason, I don't know if this is just Virgo energy. I don't really have Virgo energy in my chart, and I'm not really surrounded by a lot of Virgos. I know some people with some Virgo energies. And you know what? It is true. This is true testament to them as well. For some reason, you're in this space to where your brain is just on work mode. And when Virgo's brain is in work mode, there is no place of acknowledgement for accomplishment for some reason. It's just in work mode. And so what I get with this Four of Wands here is that, Virgo, you really do need to acknowledge the work that you put in. Like I said, April is not the month of work for you. April, and a little bit, I'll go into another message with this card in a second, but this is not the month of just work. This is a month of, okay, and you can keep working if you need to, because I know, Virgo, that's what y'all like to do. But this is a month in which you need to celebrate your accomplishments. You do need to look back at the things that you have done that have transpired and give them the acknowledgement that they need. Also, with this being the Four of Wands, the Three of Wands comes before it, and the Three of Wands is all about manifesting the moves that you're going to make to get you to where you want to be, right? So if you've passed the Three of Wands, that means that, Virgo, you're actually in the spaces that you have manifested yourself to be in, and you're not taking the time to actually look around and say, hey, well, I'm here. Yeah, there's always work that's going to need to be done. You got the Four of Wands, which means you still got to make moves. You still got to move and shake. But the thing is, you are firm in your foundations now, and you can build upon those things. You don't have to work to get to where you need to be anymore. You're there. Now you just need to work to progress and to grow in those spaces and in those places. And you also need to, and again, like I said, whatever type of energy you lend to what you're doing, whatever type of way that you're thinking, it has the power to manifest in the physical. So Virgo, if all you're thinking about is, I didn't do enough, or I got more work to do, you're not going to be able to enjoy what you've done. You're not even going to be able to see that you are in the spaces that you need to be in. And there's a difference from working towards a goal and working on a goal, if that makes sense. So your chapter before, you were working towards a goal. Guess what? You're there. You've reached the goal. Now you got to work on the goal. And when I say work on the goal, I'm talking about growth. I'm talking about building upon. The goal is the foundation. Okay, so you were working towards the foundation. Now that you've got the foundation laid and set, now you can build upon it. So this is a month in which you build upon it. You don't work towards it anymore. You're there. So don't give yourself that lacking mentality of, oh, I still have work to do in this aspect. There's always work to do, okay? There's always something that needs to be done. There's always something bigger and better that you can go towards, or there's always a way to level up, right? But the thing is that you've made it to where you need to be. And Virgo, you need to give yourself that acknowledgement, and you need to give yourself that praise, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to build upon what it is that you have laid your foundations in, because you're not noticing that they're there. So Virgo, positive energy for yourself this month. Give yourself credit where it's due, okay? And by acknowledging and giving yourself credit, you also acknowledge that you have the tools and the resources to progress in any way that you want to. So understand that you really do have to shift your perspective during this month into a more positive space. And you also have to pat yourself on the back, okay? The last card that I have in your spread is in the position of your soul message, and you got the Veiled card. And so typically when I pull this card, it's like, oh, things are not as they seem. But I'm going to go to the imagery on the card for your reading. This girl is wearing a mask, and if you look at the mask, I don't know what, she got screens over her eyes. Typically when you wear a mask, you're supposed to be able to see outside of it, okay? In this case, you got a mask on and you've got screens over your eyes, Virgo, and what it's doing is preventing you from seeing the reality of what is going on around you. So your soul message for the month here is to remove your mask, Virgo. Things don't have to be veiled. And listen, this comes with the number 38, which does break down into my favorite number, 11, master number energy. 11 is all about enlightenment and awakening, okay? And healing through your enlightenment and your awakening. So Virgo, you've got to heal your perspective, if that makes sense. You've got to move away from that typical earth, oh, I need to do more. Take the mask off and see, Virgo, that you've done everything that you needed to do to get to where you were trying to be. Now it's time for you to level up. Now, like I said, it's not time for you to keep trying to get to where you're trying to be, because you're there. You got this veiled energy, which is preventing you from seeing things for what they truly are. It is preventing you from seeing the work that you've truly done and seeing the return from it. You're just in a space to where you put this mask on when you started the journey, right? And you kind of blindly went into it. And I don't know if it was because you needed to shut everything else out so that you could do the work that needed to be done, or if for whatever reason, but you adorned this mask when you started your little journey. Now that you've made it to a point in the journey to where you should be able to remove your mask. You can take it off now, and you can, oh my gosh, look, everything that I was working for, I got it. Happy, happy. And then you have clear vision and to see how you can grow upon your pillars, okay? You have a clear vision if you remove this mask to see what steps you can take next to level up. So long as you keep yourself veiled from your own accomplishments, you won't be able to accomplish more. And I know that don't sit right with y'all. I know that don't sound right for y'all. So do what you got to do during this month to shift the way that you think about yourself, and also about the way that you move and the way that you work. Give yourself the credit. Like I said, I keep saying, give yourself credit where it's due. I sound like my Grammy. Give credit where it's due. Give yourself credit where it's due, okay? Because credit is due. You do need to acknowledge that you did the damn thing, Virgo, and you can continue to do the damn thing, but you won't be doing the damn thing so long as you're still wearing this little weirdo mask on your face, all right? And that is your reading. I hope that it found you well. If you want to book your own personal reading, you can do so with me through my Etsy shop, which is linked down below. Just go there and then click on the little drop down and click tarot. That's where all of my spreads are listed. If you don't see a spread on there that resonates with you, or you don't see something that you feel like fits what you're looking for, feel free to shoot me a message on Etsy or any of my socials for SunshinehazeCo, and they're all at SunshinehazeCo. That's all one word. And hit me up and we can get something rocking and rolling for you, okay? Thank you guys for tuning in. Happy April. Happy birthday to all the Aries. Welcome to the world, Annie. Happy birthday to my best friend, Sam. Happy birthday to what other Aries do I know? I don't know. Those are like the most important Aries in my life. So that's all I got for you. But happy birthday to the rest of y'all. Aries, even though y'all are the most wild sign that I have ever encountered. I still love y'all because I love me some cardinal signs, apparently. All right, you guys, thank you for tuning in. I will catch y'all next time. Peace.